when we're sick and we have sick ones, where's the first place we go? We go to the elders to light this for us. Light the smudge. Light the pipe. So today I'm coming from one of us together. There's nobody higher than anybody in this room.
They sat me down in a very compassionate way and passed on their knowledge and information. Not once did they say anything to brag about what they've done, but they talked about humbleness. Every time you take that tobacco and you're going to make use of it, you make sure you use it in a good way and that you're in a humble way. That's how I've learned about tobacco.
I wasn't as fortunate as a lot of you were to have grandparents, to have parents to teach you, to show you that, some of our sacred ways. So I never learned about my culture until I was probably 35, was the first time I learned about the sweetgrass and what that was about. And then along the journey, I learned that what our grandfathers left us, the grandmothers, our ancestors, the Creator gave us as gifts. The Creator gave us these gifts to continue our connection to the spirit world, to our ancestors, and which was the 4 powerful medicines. And that was the sage, the sweetgrass, tobacco, and the cedar. And then they mentioned that tobacco was the strongest, that was the most powerful, because that was the one that you used to make all the offerings, to go to elders and give them tobacco if you want teachings. So these are the things that I've just been learning. I didn't grow up with this stuff. I didn't have any knowledge of this stuff. But I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for our culture, for our teachings, for ceremonies. They're not things to mess with.
This Friday, I'll be harvesting a buffalo. And the high school, the what do you call it? Storefront school? Outreach school is coming over. I'm going to go to that smudge, to the knife, pick up that knife, smudge to the animal. And those kids are all going to have their hand on my shoulder. They're going to have that first cut of that animal. They're going to help me gut it. They're going to help me skin it. And then we're going to quarter it up, and then we're going to bring it to the butcher shop, because it has to be, because we're giving it away to community members. It has to come from a good place. So the butcher's going to take care of the cutting of that animal. But how many of those kids have ever done that? So not only am I giving them the right to do it. That's very important. So that's the same thing we're doing here. We have to give the right.
We all need to heal together. And one of the ways that we need to do that is to start listening. When as elders, as we age, in our own way, we also tend to abuse our rights as elders. And one of the ways that we do that is through talking. And we say, I'm an elder, don't interrupt me. And we abuse our role as elders. And we need to stop that. No, we need to respect our young people so that they can learn to respect themselves. And that's one of the teachings that I hope that I can pass on to my children and my grandchildren, that I can, when they're hurting, they can come to me and say, Mother, I'm hurting. We need to discuss this. And then to address whatever problem there is, so that in return our grandchildren can be more healthier. So we need to establish that dialogue. We need to not only preach to our young people, no, we need to listen. We need to listen to why, they're abusing a substance or abusing something. No, we need to look at why they're depending on something to numb that pain. So we need to start listening as elders too.
I have lost a son and a daughter to alcohol and drugs. My oldest son died just before his 18th birthday, 33 years ago. Then my daughter, who was a school teacher 5 years ago, committed suicide using fentanyl. And then on the same day that her son, Mike, accidentally overdosed on drugs, I think, which is probably fentanyl. And then my oldest grandson, 3 years ago, died from alcohol poisoning. So addiction has affected my family. I am a recovered alcoholic. As I said, I've gone through everything. And I thank the Creator that I'm still alive today. I've gone through a lot of horrible things, but I'm here, and I thank the Creator. And I think, like Alice said, we need to heal ourselves first. And like AA, we need to do a personal personal
Intervention. Intervention.
Yeah, intervention ourselves.
Inventory.
Personal inventory of ourselves as to how colonization has affected our thoughts, our hearts, our thinking, and our behavior, and try to change that. Although they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. If we've been this way all our lives, we need to be willing to learn to change so that we can help our young people.
Well, foremost, elders are very essential in a lot of our knowledge. They keep all our stories, so it's very, very important and vital that we include them on everything. Back home, I'm a youth health and wellness worker, and we include elders a lot in a lot of our programs because they provide a lot of support spiritually and just in keeping the knowledge from our traditions entailed in the guidelines that we do in efforts to provide preventative steps in making youth, do the right thing, do the right choices in that. And elders are just a big support overall because when we don't have the questions, we go to them for that. And they have, whether it's telling us from right to wrong to not doing, or just sitting there and sharing a story and just, learning from that. So having elders involved is very, very important, and I think a key process in getting that next step and being successful.
We're here to hear each other speak and to encourage all of us, to support each other, to let this be known to our young people, the danger of this. And let's not fool around. If you're addicted to tobacco, it's going to do something terrible to you. We love you. We want you to be with us for a very long time.
I have people that have passed away from the opioids. I have a brother that's in jail because of opioids. Everybody, we all have the same story. You don't have to be ashamed of it because we all have that same story. So today, that's my passion for being here today, for bringing each and every one of you in here, is the passion. If we love, we have to help ourselves and the people around us. That's my story today. Hopefully, this feather will help us to transcend those by way of our youth that are sitting in this room.
I have noticed, mostly with myself, but with people in my generation, that's where we've fallen short, is that we haven't taken our kids, our children, to go and see the elders. And I've talked to other people in my generation, and they haven't done that either, too, or they've stopped doing it, or forgot about it, whatever it is. But I know, I've been reminding myself to be able to go ahead and teach my kids and my grandchildren that they need to go and talk to an elder. Sometimes they're scared, and I just give them the encouragement to go and talk to them. It's like going to talk to your grandmother, your grandfather that you're really comfortable with. You just go and talk to them.
Amongst our community, our children are disrespected because they don't know. We're not teaching them. In here, we're all responsible for our languages, our laws, and our customs. I always say that to my people. When I speak, some of you have seen me speak in a big crowd at home, and I always tell my people. The reason we're losing is because the responsibility that you have, you're not teaching our children, our young. It's all our responsibility, not just me. If you know those laws, you know those customs, teach it.
You are responsible for the consequences of your action. That was always told beforehand to me. So I knew if I did something, this was going to happen. If I didn't, back then we used to ride a lot. We were told if you don't tighten your cinch strap on your saddle, you're going to fall off. And we did. Because the consequences, and you're going to get hurt. Of course we got hurt, but we knew, the consequences of your action always came along with whatever teachings that we were taught. And our upbringing, we were taught that, if I did something wrong in the community, then my parents also were part of my wrongdoing. I will shame my parents, shaming my grandparents, because what I did in life not only impacted me, my actions, not only impacted me, it impacted my family. It impacted my grandparents, my great-grandparents. Then our child rearing practices and how we were raised was put in question by the community. So those social norms dictated how we lived our life in traditional societies. And today, we don't live in traditional societies. But those teachings we can still incorporate into today's present lifestyle.
Hearing elders' stories and how they were brought up and their experiences and everything, it really helps me and comforts me. And it's a way of healing for myself also.
Well, I think it's a really big deal because elders have a really big impact on our lives. Well, for me, example, they have a really big impact. I look up to all of my elders and stuff.